Alright guys, here we are to talk about Jessica Jones, Season 2, Episode 6. And much like I said, it picks up right after the water breaks, so you see nothing. They save all those fishies and the cost.
But they don't just, like, show her in, like, a wet room. They cut, like,
out
minutes
of the building.
It's so long. I was like, wow, guys, this is really something.
You couldn't do that. That scene was going to cost too much money.
I know.
And I knew that. And I'm always glad to be right, but I would have liked to have been wrong. That would have been very interesting to see, like, the tidal wave of Jessica as she flies down the aisle from water.
Well, and, like, does she save anyone? Did she just run? Her, like, ankles are kind of wet. Like, it was totally like, what?
I don't think there was anyone to save.
Yeah,
I think everyone
ran
was
out,
out before the the eruption of water would have happened.
I know.
Yeah. And then it seemed like it was all kind of for nothing. So we have her run out. She sees this, like, oh, there's a security camera here. All right, that'll tell me who they are. And then, like, this, like, almost too long thing. And it finally just goes like, no plate. All right, well, he did kidnap her, though, a little bit, so that's something.
It was all just to show that he was, like, injecting her. And, like,
I
kind of liked, it was fine, talking to the guy, the issues, the different stuff. I like to see Jessica detecting. I feel like in a lot of stuff where someone's supposed to be a detective, they always make the movie or the show about the day that everything pops off and we're not doing any more detective work, right? But then when I get it, I'm kind of like, he kind of went around in this giant circle just to get back to, like, I still need to find the same person that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right, fine.
Well, because if there wasn't the little throwaway line of no license plates, you would have been like, what was she even hoping to achieve there?
Yeah, okay, right. Like, why? Yeah,
because she was hoping for the license plate. It's like, you know, you can't just drive around with no license plates. Like,
cops don't like that.
Especially if you're like some kind of a super criminal harboring a murderer. You'd think like you'd want to be doing like 5 below the speed limit, like, you know, really blending in.
You would check all your blinkers before leaving the house every time, just so you don't get pulled over while super lady's raging next to you.
That's very strange. And like little things like that, like yes, you have the attention to detail for the plot as to why she couldn't just find their house, but then the B of like, well, does that make any sense? Why? What? Is this person just doing this? Like, what if they got out and their car was gone because they're like, no plates, towed it.
Exactly. No, I didn't. I was not super into all that. That's fine. It's just some things.
It's the little things that usually annoy me, and usually it's because they left something out that could have explained something easily. And this one, I'm like, I think you put something in that caused more problems than it solved.
Well, and basically, I don't like to call things filler necessarily, because we often get, like along the way, we get some character stuff, or we get some whatever, good, that's cool. But like, some stuff, it's like, okay, summarize this episode. I'm leaving that out. I'm like, okay, this, then they do that. Like, I'm not going to say, well, first they went here, but then it turned out they didn't have to, and then they went back, and then the store was open, but the guy was like, no. Like, I'm not going to recount all that. It doesn't do anything,
no.
Right?
It doesn't, but that's my point, is like, just think rationally. They're in the city. How many police and checkpoints and bridges or tunnels of heavily guarded things you have to go through to get to the city? A lot.
I know.
Maybe you need plates.
Oh, no. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, like, this is all in there for some purpose, just to, like, we need the episode to be a certain length. I feel like that's the ultimate criticism.
Gotta show that she's a man of the people. She won't report this guy to INS.
Yeah.
All right, move right along.
Right, and it's so topical and timely that it was ICE now, not INS. I caught that. I'm like, oh, okay. Good times.
I actually heard that and went, what the fuck is that? And I was like, oh.
I only know that because of tweets from people arguing about all the political stuff happening and all that stuff. So I'm like, when was this filmed? This is a good time. Okay, there was a lot of sex in this episode. It was great.
Yeah.
We got more talking to the super. They have paint sex.
Yeah, that I have a little pin in that in my mind of like, well, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Sure.
Like, I hate when things go that, like, you know, high cable channel middle of the night route of like, well, no one does that. No one sweeps their business work desk onto the ground just for a platform.
That's like Cinemax or something, right? That's
exactly.
like Cinemax level.
Where I'm like, all right, who wrote this? An idiot?
Yeah.
And like, this is the same thing, because it wasn't like, oh, they were in the middle of it and then paint knocked over and they just kept going. This was like, she knocked paint over, then like he like lays her in the paint.
Yep. And I'd be like, dude, that's awful.
What? Paint in my hair? Are you out of your mind? Like,
right,
what's happening?
There's kind of nothing sexy about that. And that's like, hey, you're being unfair. You just know too much about paint. And then I'm like, no, that's normal. Everyone knows about paint.
And then he immediately is like, oh, this looks good now, or something like that. And I'm like, that's the worst comment ever. You broke the scene for that.
And then it cuts to like an overhead angle, and you see exactly how much floor there is with no paint on it.
Yes.
They could have easily just had like a little paint or something or whatever.
The only thing that would have made this for me like remotely allowable is if there was like a canvas on the ground, and you somehow ended up with some sort of a weird painting at the end, and like it's hanging on the wall, and like you see like and like they both know what it is, and like people are commenting on it, and they like, snicker every once in a while. But it was on a drop mat, so
that
it's
would be hilariously
happen.
pretentious. I'm so happy that you're suggesting that as like a thing. No, yeah. If there was something like that, we kind of get that.
Well, instead we get a creepy "I paint you while you're sleeping." We went from "I hate you" to "I tolerate you" to awkward moment, and now like paint sex, where I'm gonna paint you while you sleep, and that's weird. And I almost she gets the painting, she looks at it like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with this, puts it in the corner, and I go, that's weird. I would have made it face the wall, and then she goes back and she turns it because that's such a weird thing to have in the house because it's a picture of you while you are sleeping,
and it's like looking, well, not looking, but it's like,
why would you like? You as the person in the picture, I can't imagine ever wanting that,
to see that
especially in my home/work environment where people are constantly like, oh, it's a narcissist, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, clients will walk in and be like, is that you? And you're like, this is a long story.
Yeah.
Paint sex was involved. I'm sorry. It's a long story.
Yeah, that just happens when you have sex on paint.
That's just what happens. No, yeah, so I thought you might have some comments as an artist, because they show him in, like, the sketching stage, and they show him in, like, the done painting stage.
Yeah, that took no time at all.
Yeah.
And some people are quick, and he has a style that I guess could be done quickly. But, I hate everyone.
Yeah, I didn't know how that would play for you. Like, I think it's probably fine for everyone else. Like, you have to draw some lines, and then later you paint in stuff or whatever, right? Like,
people,
like,
there's a whole many different tactics and styles of painters, and like that's not how I do things, but I know people that do paint like that, where it's like, oh, I do my sketch and you go right on top of this thing and that, and I'm like all right.
Something felt weird about him saying it's not finished, and then they cut to it and it's not started. It's just him like roughing out like what to do. Like, that's weird. Well, how long have you been doing this?
Had
for?
They showed him, well, no, that part can take, because if you're doing a photorealistic, which he's more or less is doing, there's a lot of measurements and tweaking and perfecting and this and that. So I'm like, if they would have had him already painting, I would have been like, wait a minute here, buddy.
Nice.
What do you got going on there? But he did bang it out really quickly for a man who potentially has a day job.
It's kind of his superpower.
He left from sleeping he had his sketch done. Jessica leaves. He goes about his whole normal work day and gives it to her before her work day finishes.
Was it that same night, you think?
Yeah, it was that same night.
I never know on shows if I'm meant to think that days have passed or not or whatever.
I took it as that was a one-day thing, and this guy just cranks it out.
So they cut to all these people. They're calling, the phone's ringing, he's not answering. Mm-hmm. They're like, my toilet doesn't work. The light, the light bulbs have to change.
Like, I'm painting.
He's just painting, it's like one of
your day-to-day on a super, you may have nothing to do.
It could have just
That's
worked
certainly
out, right?
possible.
Sure.
But
I much prefer the idea of everything being everything going to hell.
Critters are attacking the building.
Yeah.
He's releasing rats. It's
what?
The plot of Critters.
Yes. Okay.
2.
That's like exploding brain level or whatever. It's a little bit so like I don't know where we should go first. Talk more about Trish. Trish has a whole arc in this episode.
So Trish is a horrible addict, and it's getting bad. And Malcolm's an idiot apparently. Malcolm finds her drug inhaler thing, and somehow believes the lie, probably because he's in lust. That's her my allergies. It's the size of a brick, and I think it has a government insignia on the side.
It has a skull and crossbones on it. It's something about government, Innotech, whatever thing.
It looks like it would fire missiles, and it's looks here you go. This was in the pocket.
Looks like it's in Chris Nolan's Batman's utility belt for when he has to do something or whatever.
So they're a thing now, or not. How many shots or puffs do you think are in that inhaler?
We've thought about this before, and I think that we should have been counting, because we should keep the puff watch. Because eventually it has to be a plot point that this runs out or something, right? She needs it.
And there's no getting more.
Exactly. Right, and this seems to real. So I kind of even like this, because in the first season, I think it was pills, not the inhaler.
Yeah,
what
I think it was pills.
Yeah, and they literally like the dude, the cop dude, the military experiment cop dude,
Neck Twist McGee,
Necky Twisty, whatever. He was like, she's gonna die. We have to do this. We have to do that. Only they have the come down medicine, you can't, or whatever.
This is the better version of that. But a weird thing to even risk taking, not knowing that before you took it.
Yeah. And now it's she's getting really messed up until she takes it again. So it's not even just that she enjoys it; it's that she's being pushed back into doing it.
Yeah, she has to take it.
She's like vomiting and sweating, and like I can't handle
anyone around
this.
her should know she has a problem because she's not acting herself.
Yeah.
She is vomiting. How does she ate that weird tzatziki thing? I was like, how does the dip keep getting everywhere? Did you like watch her?
No,
like,
what?
She's eating a sandwich and he goes, oh, you got some on your thing. She takes it off and it's like up on her collar, and I'm like, okay. And then like as they hand it back and forth, it's just like sloshing everywhere. Like it must have been like a cup full of white stuff to get that first spill to happen, and it just kept happening. And then like she cleans up and then just throws it away, and I'm like, aren't you like drunk starving because you've been inhaling all day?
She took like 2 bites and was just like, okay, I'm fucking done with this thing. It was amazing. I didn't catch stuff sloshing around though, but like, I remember that scene. I just picture you now, like eagle-eyeing, like watching, like what is in this sandwich? What's going on?
Because I didn't catch the first spill, so I paid a lot more attention right after that bit. I'm like, did that actually happen? I'm like, oh, it definitely happened.
I assumed it happened off camera. It didn't matter or whatever. But yeah, no, that's so that was one of the beginnings of their romance or whatever. The Malcolm and
I was okay with them earlier in the season. I was like, oh, I don't hate them being together. But this is their start. I'm like, that's the worst start ever. It's just terrible.
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, because
I love it.
I don't know.
I don't know if I love it. I'm just saying.
It makes me feel less about Malcolm. Like I'm like like he seems like such a guy that has like principles and like honor and this and that. And I feel like he should have been more like that superintendent who's like, wait, I want to start this right.
Okay.
And he doesn't do that. And that you could say, well, that's the addict in him. Like he gotta have it. But I didn't like that very much.
I had the same thought, and then I thought, oh, this must be why they've been showing him hooking up with random girls from the internet all season. Because now like this is his thing that he can't whatever, right? So I was like, oh, okay. Because I had the exact same thought where he should have been like, whoa, whatever, right? But this is now the whole, I'm a fan of Trish. I like this sort of thing happening. But I thought Jessica was going to come back in when she was trashing her place looking for it. Because Jessica was acting so weird. And like, it seemed like she was, saying stuff to let it sit out there and then waiting for her to respond, but kind of looking at her like, no, this is not okay or whatever.
She might come back in right post-coitus and see them in bed together and be like, oh. And then maybe she'll play that off as like, is this why you're acting so weird? Is this why you wanted me to leave? Because Malcolm's coming over? Like, maybe that'll be how it goes?
That'll be great. That'll be awesome.
And then you'll get some weird fake jealousy where she's like, like, well, what are you? No, he's my assistant. Fuck you.
I was like, we always treat him like, you don't appreciate him anyway. That's why it was ever. He has, no.
Something.
Fake jealousy is a good word for it. I wasn't sure how to say it, where I'm like, they'll probably dabble in some weird thing like he's stealing her away from Jessica, even though she was barely letting him, like, hang out or whatever. Oh, they bang it out. Yeah, that was my last note here.
I just, so then we have like the doctor.
So like real quick, they kind of set all this up by having Trish beat up a guy on the train.
Yeah, and like she's like waiting, just looking for any opportunity to Charles Bronson somebody.
Exactly.
And I actually rewound, even though like we never rewind, because I was like, wait a minute, she kicks this guy off the bus. I'm like, what did he even do? And you never see it. You hear a lady say, hey, you touched me. And he goes, no, I didn't. And then she kicks him off the train.
And then she says, like, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm like, for all we know. I was like, was that even the right guy?
We have no idea.
Did he do it?
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Well, they kind of leave that alone, almost as if, like, well, that was, Trish's perception of the events or something like that. But yeah.
I would have loved it to cut and they've been like, well, that was actually her brother. The guy that touched him is still on the bus. Everyone's just shocked. That's why they stopped talking.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I kind of feel like probably happened. But I like that weird things don't match up thing or whatever. But yeah.
The way she flinched when that guy grabbed a book, I was like, Jesus, lady. Like, both her feet went up onto the seat. She was like ready to spring like a cat.
Yeah. No, she's crazy. And, like, I don't know if this is her impulse. I think, she just wants to go wreck house. I don't think this is like, I want to go be a hero or something.
No. It's I need any excuse to fight somebody.
Any excuse to go at it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a quick thing, because everything else will tie into this. Hogarth and Inez.
So Hogarth, it comes out, exactly what she wants and why she wants it. The other one comes clean with a little bit more information when she realizes the situation, was planning on robbing her, took a nice purse and filled it with all her shit.
Yeah.
And then goes like, I know what these drugs are because I was a nurse.
The pills, exactly. I thought this was going to be our third sex scene. No. But it was a weird... So, like, she says something like, I don't need a nurse, I just need whatever. And then I had this quick flash of, like... No. That's the joke part. I thought that they were gonna do this weird... I'm like, oh, I so want to watch that show where it's just the two of them as this weird odd couple where she's getting progressively sicker and she's helping her, and they're from different worlds and all that stuff, talking and all this.
It's a weird
nonsense.
thing to want.
It's totally not a whole season of it, but I'm like, oh, I so want to see what that's all about. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think once we learn there's a character that can heal, something's gonna happen where one of our more main characters, who are still gonna die, I think, and not get healed.
Oh.
I think we'll get like Trish or Malcolm will get shot, and that person's gonna heal them. So like we're gonna see a person like, oh God, what are we gonna do? And then they'll get healed.
Okay, so that's the like crescendo, is that she says there's a boy who can heal people with his hands. It makes him sick to do it, but he can do it or whatever, right? Then part of the rest of the episode centers around someone's boy who was like helped, and I'm like, is he gonna be the one? Does that make sense? Is there a whole nother person?
So Trish follows. Jessica follows this lead, finds this guy who's been bankrolling our doctor. He had nothing but good things to say about the doctor.
I realized he was Dr. Octopus during this whole thing.
That's true. So she tracks down that guy's kid to store the actual information as to where you can find him. She goes to his house. He lives like, by the water, is in a nice place, and like a bunker like in the basement where he locks up his strong lady. Now, my issue with this is like you have again this crazy door where I'm like, okay, that door might hold her, but like what are the walls made of? And then there is a small window that's just with little bars. Why couldn't she can rip like a wall down? She can't bend the bars?
Yeah, I don't know if that was necessary.
Or do you just think she's too much of a lady that she won't crouch up into that little hole?
Too much of a lady. I have no idea. I did not like Case the room so much. The room has so much stuff in it, like delicately placed in there, that I feel like that was like originally a holding place, and now she just kind of lives there.
Yes.
She knows like, oh, sometimes I go off the handle and I can't control myself, so I'm consenting to like, chain me in these like titanium.
Did you pick up on that twist
like that
at the end?
Pick up on the twist? What do you mean? Like, the whole point of the episode, the point that made me scream and run around my house and break things?
The twist here is this lady who is killing everybody, the strong woman who, like, it doesn't take a genius. Once I saw the photo of Jessica, I was like, oh, that's her mom.
Of course.
And you're like, okay, that as you think about it more, it seems obvious. It's like, all right, you took all these things, you blah, 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 I did this, you have this, you're strong. Well, she's strong, you're stronger.
I hate that so.
I'm like, wait a minute, how's that? I'm like, because it's not a pass-down trait, because you both got it retroactively from your birth. Okay. So that's weird.
That bothered me so much. That was right up there with Apocalypses from Egypt. Give them sand powers. But then I thought, okay, so like...
if you think, how does it make sense? And this is why
it is what you're about to say. We both have the same thing.
Everyone has a different genetic like trait. So like the other guy became fast. This one can heal, and their genes
have a latent
strength.
You have a latent thing,
and
in
since
you.
she's only half her mother, she only got half the strength. Exacto. That has to be it.
Exacto, 100% mundo. And so after my initial not shock, but like what? Like outrage. After my initial outrage at that like coincidence, I was like, okay, that's probably why that makes sense. But I still kind of hate it. I still kind of hate the whole thing. Also, how old was she when the car accident happened? Should she really
14, 13 or something?
So she doesn't recognize her mom?
Well, I'm thinking the surgery has changed her face dramatically.
Like completely?
Yeah.
Oh, it must, I guess.
Well, actually, we can go back. There is a scene of them in the car before the crash. We can look if it's a different actress. If it's not, that's a huge plot hole.
I doubt it's the same actress just because... Okay, so, like...
Because a person in a flashback with no lines probably
is not going to be the actress from Season 2. I thought about this for a while, because I'm like, it's probably fine. But, like, why am I so, like fake upset about it or whatever? If the first 4 or 5 episodes up until this one were like one season, and then this episode was like the first episode of a whole new season, I would have said they retconned that. This was not supposed to be her her like mother this whole time. That never makes sense. If I think back, she like talked to her, she sat next to her, she was there. Like, where'd she come from? Why now? Like, what's going on? Everything's wrong with this.
No, it can work because if you were in such a horrible accident, your vocal cords could have been damaged. Your voice could sound different. Your face, of course, could be totally reconstructed.
Yes.
So like it could make sense. Do I like it? Not so much. But I could learn to like it.
I am hoping that as the next episode like fires up, right? Because she's staring at her and she's staring back, and then like in my head I'm like, Mom, and then she goes, Mom, and I'm like, Mom. I was like, what? No. I was so like whatever about it. So the next episode could pick up. and they could explain all these things, right? And in a way where I'd go, okay, that's fine or whatever, right? But for her to guess that it's her mother and she looks and sounds and acts totally different or whatever, I'm like, that's really weird.
Now, we had that, like, pizza-faced person. That's probably the mother, and maybe she had multiple sessions with the boy with the hands, and that's, like, slowly fixed
and
her.
Brought her back and something.
Yeah, but then I'm like, all right, well, if it wasn't...
Back.
That's my thought exactly is like, okay, it can heal you, but it doesn't heal you to perfect because the girl, the nurse, has scars. So if her face was completely burned, it would have been burned, and then you'd have a doctor come in and try to give her a new face, and that's why she would look totally different. Yeah. And that makes sense. And then that same thing would apply to, like, anything, like your vocal cords being severed. Okay, you're healed, but I can't make it the way it was. It's not Wolverine healing you back to, like, a hard reset to 2013.
Yeah, your, like, original genetic blueprint doesn't get restored.
No, it's just healing what you have. So, like, the more I think about it, the more I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no, I can be charitable and give them it, but, because then why does she even guess that that is her mother?
Well, what reason could you have to have photos of me as a child?
Who knows what the hell's going on? But I would never think that you are my dead mother if you look and act and sound everything totally different. We'll see.
It could be
we'll see what her motivation is.
I would like a comment
now,
to come in and be like, the eyes.
Yeah,
I knew it from your eyes.
Exactly, something, right?
But you weren't even looking for that until you had a reason to.
Exactly. So, like, and they have a brief window here because the episode ends with that.
Yes.
For them to, like, make me happy or something like that. I hope so. Like, this was the episode where I was like, oh no, because last season had, like, every season of, like, a Marvel show has, like, peaks and dips valleys, and whatever. Yeah. So, like, this is when I was like, oh no, because it's been so many episodes and we haven't had this, like, compelling villain and, like, compelling story and, like, compelling stuff happening. Really, we've just been doing whatever we're doing, and I was waiting for something to pop off, and now this has happened, and I'm like, I don't know where this is going now. I'm very concerned.
Well, we're gonna find out that her dad's alive too, and he's a levitator.
Yeah, he's in a suit of armor. Well, no, because that was part of the thing too. Once I started thinking about it being passed down genetically or whatever, right? We have mutants in, like, the X-Men universe and all that stuff, but sometimes the kids don't have the same powers at all, but sometimes they do.
Yes.
And we're just supposed to be like, yeah, it's fine. Like, Aziel can have Nightcrawler as a kid or something, right? And then whatever, but then Magneto can have Quicksilver as a kid, so whatever.
Yeah.
Right? It's just this weird thing that happens. So I guess it's fine, but it would be great, yes, if, like, Jessica actually has some like other power she doesn't know about yet from, like, her father or something like that. But I don't know, all these powered people, what's happening?
We'll see. I do want Netflix to pick up the X-Men franchise. I think they would really have some fun with that.
Yeah, well, that's possible. I think everybody owns everybody.
Now it's possible.
Yeah, I think television's the right place for that because there are so many characters and so much stuff and all that. We should probably watch Legion at some point.
Yeah.
I hear it's good and it's coming back for a second season. That's neither here nor there, though. Did you like this episode? Do you feel good about this twist?
I'm okay with it. I won't say I'm like on the fence where I'm like it could really go sharply down or slightly up, I think. There's not a whole lot where I'm like, oh no, this could be great. But I am still on board. I want to see where it goes. They have piqued my interest, if even in looking at a car wreck kind of way.
Oh, God.
We'll see exactly where it goes. Next episode, I think I'll have a definite thought on where I think the season's going to end and how it'll be positive or negative. I don't think they can possibly beat the Kilgrave ending for me. But I would love them to. I like this episode. I like the characters. I'd like to see where it goes. But I think quickly tying everyone up into these bows where this one's with that one, this one's that one, that one's my mom. I'm like, I don't know how I like that.
It felt weird, right? To all happen in the same episode, right?
Yeah,
everyone's banging it out. Everyone's banging it out. Everyone's got relatives. Everything's paired off. Everyone's odd coupling and Harold and Maude.
Too convenient.
Yeah. The only way I'd be okay with this is if Jessica Jones and her mom have to team up against Hogarth, who's gotten treatment and become a supervillain, and, like, Trish is, like, gone crazy and she's manipulated her into being her lackey, and they all have to fight on, like, a roof while a big blue laser fires off from the sky.
Now you're going to see a thing where they're going to try to get the relationship back. She's going to try to get her mother back, blame it on this doctor for making her whatever, and ultimately she'll have to kill her mother.
Yeah, they'll be like, you don't need him, you don't need this crazy treatment, and then she'll go crazy and she'll be like, oh no, she does, and I have to help stop her or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so disappointing.
All right, guys, so let us know what your predictions are, thoughts about this episode. That's Jessica Jones, episode 6, season 2. Don't Down a Fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.